Ethan was never the kind of man who looked for trouble. He was a single dad, living in a small 2-bedroom apartment on the east side of Portland. His life was simple. Wake up at 5, pack his daughter's lunch, drop her at school, then head to his job at an auto repair shop. He didn't have much, but he had enough. Enough to keep the lights on. Enough to keep his daughter, Lily, smiling. And enough to stay grateful. One cold Thursday morning, as he pulled into a grocery store parking lot, he saw a woman sitting against the brick wall near the carts. Her jeans were torn at the knees, her hair tucked into a hood, and beside her, a little boy, maybe 5, clutching a worn-out dinosaur toy. People passed them like they were invisible. But Ethan paused. Something about the kid reminded him of Lily when she was younger, small, scared, trying so hard to be brave. He approached slowly. "Hey, you two okay?" The woman looked up, startled. Her eyes were tired in a way that went past exhaustion. They carried a history. "We're fine," she whispered. But her voice shook. Ethan didn't push. Instead, he went inside, bought 2 breakfast sandwiches and a small pack of crayons, and handed them over when he walked out. The boy's eyes lit up, the kind of light that only comes from sudden, unexpected kindness. That moment was the start. Over the next week, Ethan kept seeing them. Her name was Mara, and the little boy was Theo. They stayed near the store because it felt safer than the shelters. Ethan didn't judge. He just listened. One night, rain slammed the city hard, and Ethan made a choice. Not the safest choice. Not the smartest choice. But the human one. He brought them home. Lily welcomed Theo instantly, sharing her toys and making space like she'd known him forever. Mara, though grateful, carried a quiet fear, like she expected someone to knock on the door and drag her away. Ethan noticed. But he didn't ask yet. Days turned into a routine, breakfasts together, school drop-offs, late-night talks in the kitchen where Mara finally began to open up. She had once worked at a major tech firm in downtown Portland. Her life was stable. Her future was clear. Until she rejected the advances of someone above her, someone powerful, someone who didn't handle rejection well. His retaliation was quiet and calculated. She lost her job. Her references vanished. Her savings drained as she fought a legal battle she could never win. And then, the eviction came. Ethan clenched his jaw when she told him. But she never said the man's name. Only that he was a CEO, and untouchable. Months passed, and slowly, Mara's sense of safety returned. Theo laughed more. Lily asked if he could stay forever. And for a moment, it felt possible. Until a black SUV parked outside Ethan's apartment one morning. A man stepped out, tall, sharp suit, a confidence that didn't come from character, but from power. He walked with purpose, knocking on Ethan's door like he already owned the place. Ethan opened it. The man didn't introduce himself. He didn't ask politely. He just said one sentence. "Where is she?" Ethan didn't move. "Who are you looking for?" The man's jaw tightened. "You know exactly who I'm talking about." Behind Ethan, Mara froze at the sound of his voice. Her hands trembled. Theo hid behind her leg. And now Ethan understood. The CEO wasn't just someone from her past. He was the storm that destroyed her life. Ethan stepped forward, blocking the doorway. "You need to leave." The man laughed softly, the kind of laugh that said he had never heard, no, used against him. "I can ruin you," he said. "Your business, your custody situation, all of it." The threat hit hard. Painfully hard. Because Ethan had fought for years to keep custody of Lily after his divorce. She was everything to him. He swallowed, fear twisting in his chest. The CEO leaned in. "Mara leaves with me, today. You don't want my attention." There was a long, heavy, quiet. And then Ethan spoke. "You already got my attention. Now get off my porch." For the first time, the CEO hesitated, not out of fear, but surprise. People didn't stand up to him. Not like this. Not without backup. Then something unexpected happened. Mara stepped forward. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was steady. "Your power doesn't work on everyone," she said. "Not anymore." The CEO's eyes narrowed. But he saw something he couldn't control, a woman no longer afraid. And a man willing to protect her without needing anything in return. He stepped back. Not because he wanted to, but because he didn't know what to do with people who chose principle over fear. The SUV pulled away. And just like that, the street grew quiet again. Mara collapsed into tears, relief, fear, release, all at once. Ethan held her, not as a savior, but as someone who finally understood the weight she carried. Over the next weeks, things changed. Mara filed a report with a nonprofit legal group. Others came forward against the CEO. Investigations opened. Stories leaked. And the man who once felt untouchable suddenly wasn't anymore. It wasn't fast. It wasn't easy. But evil rarely survives when enough truth comes to light. And as spring rolled in, Mara found work again. Theo had his first stable home in years. And Ethan. He didn't just help a stranger. He helped someone find herself again. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness ends up pushing back against the biggest kind of power.